Annie, bonjour, hello. My name is Jason Scott Benoit. I'm the coordinator of the Transitions and Engagement Office at the Center for Academic Excellence. And I'm here to offer a virtual workshop on the MyLaurentian account. So with the beauty of Zoom, I'll be able to share my screen here in just a moment and basically walk through what the MyLaurentian portal has to offer, not only for new students, but also for all students at Laurentian University. So here we go. All right, so I've already logged in. As you can see, logging into your MyLaurentian account is pretty user friendly. So you'd visit my.laurentian.ca, as you can see up here in the toolbar. And from there, you'd be logging in using your username and password. So you'll be using the same username and password for all of your Laurentian accounts as you continue your journey here at Laurentian as a student. And when you're here, you basically have your home page, and this will give you a lot of information. So first, it'll have the photo that you've uploaded, which will be the same photo that will be used for your student card, and I'll show you how to upload your own photo there in just a few moments. Here on the right-hand side, we'll have basically the list of documents that you've submitted for your application. So regardless if you're a new student or returning student, you'll likely have this information here. It'll basically allow you to see what documents have been received and what documents have been submitted on your behalf. So I am also a part-time student at Laurentian University, which is why I have access to both the faculty, staff, and student account. So I'll be able to walk you through and kind of give you an example of my own program and some of the documents that are listed there. So please be mindful of the fact as well, if you're not studying in the Bachelor of Arts of Indigenous Studies program, the documents that you'll see in your own account are specific to your own program. So simply be mindful of that. Every program does have its own specific information, especially when it comes to course registration materials and etc. So be mindful of that the program you see listed here is my own, and you know, unless you're in the same program as I am, your information there will be different. So you'll have your documents, you'll have the list here for the cards on your one card, the funds on your one card. I'll show you how to retrieve and request your one card. Of course, given how everything is going on remote right now, the one card doesn't have as many uses as it would if you were studying on campus. But if you were to go here and add funds, let's say if you were on campus and you wanted to add funds to your one card, your student card, for any kind of food services on campus, printing services on campus, you'd simply be able to do that by clicking the add funds button. And this will bring you here to your another student account where you'd simply add funds using your preferred method here, and your balance will show itself. Also, whenever you would log into your account, as you'd seen here, you'd have the remaining balance of what you have on your one card. So the primary uses for the funds on your one card, like I mentioned, would be more so for printing services on campus, and also food services on campus. So those would be, you know, if you're living on residence now, if you're students, though you're studying remote, currently living in residence, you would have access to all of these features. The campus is still open, you know, abiding by social distancing rules currently. So students do have access to printing services if they're living in residence through the residence complex or on the main campus there as well. So you have a list of important dates. This here is updated somewhat. I will say that you'd probably be better off to visit the Laurentian website or your Google Calendar in order to visit your important dates. So I'll just flash here to a different screen where if you visit laurentian.ca/important dates, you'll have all of the important dates, which I strongly recommend that you would follow, especially when it comes to the beginning of new terms with the add drop deadlines, also the deadlines to withdraw yourself from courses. There's also information about the Senate meetings here that happen monthly. So there is very important information that comes here, and that's always updated basically as the important dates come through. They've also given information about your examination period for the fall, winter, spring, and summer terms. If you want to keep tabs on these important dates, you can also click the plus Google Calendar here, and logging into your Laurentian Google Calendar, Laurentian Google email address, you'll be able to basically create a calendar within your Google Calendar here, which will highlight all of these in calendar view for you, or week view, depending on your settings. So this would be one that I would recommend strongly that students follow. But like I said too, you will have some of this information, though it's not as updated. You can see here it's kind of dated to July 1st, 2020, but on the website, it'll basically start you at today's current date and then go onwards from there. You'll have information about your fees owing. So if you want to request more information about that, it gives you the direct link to self-service, which I'll show you in a moment. Self-service being the platform where you'll go to register for courses. And then it will have a list of suggested services. So the MyLaurentian Hub, it is a very important service at the university, which manages a lot of different things. It'll go where you can go there to pay, support paying your fees, and managing your student card, getting your photo taken for your student card. There's a lot of uses there for the Laurentian Hub, and given the remote delivery now, they're available online as well. And then a Center for Academic Excellence, which holds all of your academic needs. So when it comes to writing assistance, academic advising, tutoring services, this is basically all kind of run under the same umbrella for the CAE. So, by clicking on this, it'll give you specific contact information on who to contact for the services that you require. Then you'll have a list of events here. So this is pretty much is very specific to either students who are defending their thesis at the graduate level, or if we have any kind of presentations that are happening on campus, it'll be published here in the events date. And then you'll have a checklist. So this checklist here will be more so specific to when you started as a student, and kind of go accordingly. You can see a couple of check marks here for my own checklist, which are things that I've already completed. This will be specific to you as well as your student. And as you go through and check off some of these, it's basically just to kind of give you a bit of an outline as to what you should be doing as a new student at Laurentian University. And then my application, excuse me. So for myself, with the Bachelor of Arts in Indigenous Studies, something that I started in the fall of 2020, you'll have access to Lujiji. So Lujiji is basically a Laurentian version of Kijiji. So it's exclusive to Laurentian community. It's where you can find used textbooks, apartments for rents, if you're looking for a roommate, etc. So there's always things that are updated there through the student population, student, faculty, and staff. I would say anyone who has access to a Laurentian portal account would have access to Lujiji as well. So if you're looking to sell your textbooks or acquire used textbooks, if you're looking for an apartment in town, that'd be a good resource to check out. And then we have a widget here for the WellTrack app. So WellTrack app is a service and an application that's available to all students at Laurentian. That's put on through the counseling services here at Laurentian University. It's a license that they purchased for a student population that allows you to track your mood in order to help with positive and maintaining a positive mental health. So all students can log into that. You can download it on your mobile application. Your mobile device, or also use that site on your laptop or desktop computer in order to manage your mental health. So it's one that we would strongly recommend that you engage in, and often we'll put promotional materials out there for that through the counseling office. So moving forward, the administrative piece, I'm not sure as a student you'll have access to that. I feel as though it's maybe something that I would have as an employee at the university. But when you're looking at the number of services they have available to you through the Laurentian account, they're all managed here in the left-hand column, with a few of them here in the top right. So I'm not sure with the recording in Zoom if you're able to see the 4 icons in the top right corner of your account, but I'll finish off with those at the end of the presentation here, just to give you an idea of what the uses are for that. So D2L is an important platform. D2L is where you'll actually go to manage course content, receive course content. We have delivered a D2L workshop already before, so we invite you to visit that link. It's about an 18 or 20-minute video that'll go through in detail of the uses and functions of D2L. But because you're already logged into your MyLaurentian account, there's no need to go ahead and log in a second time. So it'll simply open up another tab for you. And that's where you'll be able to, like I said, manage your course content there from term to term. And then you'll have a function for Zoom, the ever popular Zoom, now that things are going remote. So you'll have access to your own personal Zoom account. Laurentian University does have a license for that. So as a student, you'll have access through your Laurentian username and password. So if you want to have that quick link to Zoom, you'd find it there on the left-hand side of your portal account. Self-service, this one won't open another tab for you, but it allows you to log in. And self-service is the platform where you'll go to register for courses. This will be important for you year over year, or even term over term in order to manage your courses and manage your degree progress. So with that, if you do require support with course registration, you can reach out to academic advising at Laurentian.ca, and you can also visit the course registration clinic that we have recorded and published on our YouTube page. So I'll see if I can go back here. I don't think, there we go, perfect. So again, this MyLaurentian account is, I kind of reference it as the central nervous system of your accounts and portal accesses to as a student at Laurentian. So this is kind of like the home base, and then from there you can kind of branch off into the other services that are necessary and required that you use. Web Advisor will be important as well. If you're a returning student at Laurentian, you might remember Web Advisor as being the portal where students would then go to register for courses. We still have uses now for Web Advisor, just a couple, not very many as much as we used to. Right now, Web Advisor will allow you to receive your T4 information. So when it comes to tax time near the end of the fiscal year, this is where you'll get or your T22, sorry, this is the employee side, your T2202A for your taxes. So that'll be important that you retrieve that, and that's usually available to you sometime in February. Near the end of February, you'll have access to that. You'll certainly get an email notification from the university to let you know once that's published in your account, but you'll find it here in Web Advisor. You'll have also application to financial aid and bursaries. So through the financial aid office, they'll have a bursary application. Right now, you'll see for the fall 2020 term, the bursary application closes today, actually on November 3rd. So with that, we invite all students to apply. And there's also financial information that'll become available to you in your Web Advisor account before every new year, every new term possibly as well. I remember getting word from the financial aid office that basically when you're looking at your financial breakdown when it comes to the awards that you've received credited to your account, that information is more so presented to you in your Web Advisor account rather than it being available to you through self-service. So be mindful of that when you do get the financial information through your self-service account, that you still visit Web Advisor, because both of these portals and accounts will communicate with each other in sync. So whatever you would see in self-service would then also be available to you here through Web Advisor. So though we don't use Web Advisor very much anymore, it will still be an important portal for you to follow over the next little while, especially when it comes to accessing that financial information or making the application to awards and scholarships there. Next, we have the athletic and recreation tab. So unfortunately, with everything going on right now with COVID happening, CIS has announced that OUA sports for the winter 2020 term have been canceled. They were again canceled for the fall. But if you're interested in knowing more about the sports that are offered, inter-university sports that are offered, the teams, the rosters at Laurentian University, if you're interested in belonging to one of these teams, if you'd like to reach out to a coach, you can visit their rosters here under the teams section and just get a little bit more information about the sports and the teams that you're interested in supporting. So going back again to the MyLaurentian account, one thing that you can always do too is just click on the logo in the top left corner. That'll bring you back to your account homepage. The shop section will be important. This is where you'll go and buy your parking pass if you're interested in parking on campus during your studies here. And then also the bookstore. So we get a lot of questions about that from students. So your required textbooks will be available to you and outlined in your course syllabus on the first day of class. Sometimes you'll get an email from your professor before the courses begin, letting you know, either sharing the course outline with you and as an attachment to an email, or they'll let you know what course materials are required. If it's required for a course at Laurentian, it will be available in the bookstore. So this direct link here will give you access to the full bookstore, and that would just be like a quick link for you to search your textbooks and purchase them online as well. The bookstore will have access to Laurentian apparel and a lot of really cool stuff there too. So if ever you're looking to purchase a little bit of Laurentian swag, you could do that here. They're currently doing curbside pickup or delivery, so you could choose that delivery method there. as you wish. Moving forward, we have our process tab. So this will be an important one as well to manage your personal and student information. So if ever you want to make a legal change, name change, if you'd like to change your personal address, your telephone number, etc., this is where you'll do that. So you'll basically be sending the request through to the MyLaurentian hub. And what's great about this is that it'll update your information across all portals and all services at the university. So it's kind of like a carte blanche, as you can say, where once it's updated through here, everyone will get that mise a jour. So important to check this out. And then a transcript request, if you'd like to request a copy of your official transcript for whatever needs you have, you can do that through your MyLaurentian account. And then the one card request, so we'll actually visit this one here. The one card request is basically requesting your student card. So this will give you guidelines as to an image that you can upload yourself. Of course, now with everything being remote, there aren't as many uses for your student card as there would be if you're physically on campus. But let's say, whenever we're ready to get back onto campus, if you want to beat the line and not wait in line at the MyLaurentian hub to take your photo, you can upload your photo here. We'll print the card and have it ready for you once you set foot on campus during your first or new term. So it just basically kind of outlines the do's and don'ts. If you'd like for us to send it to your home address, then you can basically outline that information there for us, and we'll get that out to you. We'll go back to the processes tab here. You'll have information for your fees and awards. So again, the application for the fees and awards will go through WebAdvisor, but this will have information here about the award application for undergraduate students. You'll have your residence application as well. So if you'd like to apply for residence, either for the winter 2021 term or the upcoming terms, you can facilitate your application through your MyLaurentian account. As a graduate student, if you would like to apply for a GTA, this is basically a direct link to your application for the graduate studies office, which will give you the opportunity to kind of declare that interest. Booking a campus tour. So though things are a little bit different right now with COVID-19, we are hosting and facilitating campus tours while abiding by social distancing rules. So if you'd like to visit the campus and find out what the campus has to offer, the experience will be different than it has been in the past. There are some places on campus where we're not permitted to be, but we are still offering campus tours in a modified fashion. We also have the virtual campus tours, which you can access as well through Laurentian.ca website. If you have any questions about campus tours and getting to understand your campus a little bit more, so with this respect, you can contact liaison@Laurentian.ca, and they can share that information with you. They'd be happy to do that. You also have your awards application. So like I said, this is kind of repeating itself a little bit here too, but you will have a bit more information with respect to OSAP here. So the direct link to make your application OSAP. If you have any questions about OSAP, financial aid, awards, we encourage that you communicate with financial aid at Laurentian.ca. Their contact information will come up as this video goes through, and it's most likely also in the comment section. So be mindful of that. They're really the experts when it comes to all that information. So don't hesitate to reach out, though there is a really good FAQ in your portal account. If you have any specific questions based on your own needs, you can reach out to them there for that expert support. So your My Program section, like I said, for everyone, this will be different. Course registration, if I were to click this, it'll basically give me access to a document that's specific to the Bachelor of Arts in Indigenous Studies, going through basically the degree requirements and degree regulations for my own program. So if you're interested in knowing what your program has to offer with respect to this information, you can simply find yourself in your program homepage and click that course registration document for more information. So this was updated very recently, looking at just a few days ago. So it'll be the same in your account as well. Moving forward with academic planning and registration. So this again will give you a bit more information with respect to that self-service portal account. So we've created some videos and recorded those. We've also published them on YouTube. So you don't have to necessarily go through this account, but this will be a very good kind of step-by-step guide on how to use student planning, a self-service, in order to continue with course registration. And if you have any questions about how to use this platform, you can reach out to orientation@laurentian.ca. And if you'd like support specifically with course registration, what courses to register for, if you want to declare a major or a minor, you can reach out to academicadvising@laurentian.ca. Your new student guide here is very much like an FAQ. So this is one that we would strongly recommend that you get familiar with a little bit. Now, when I say get familiar, it doesn't mean you have to go through here and memorize all of the information that's shared, because it is there and it is live for you as you continue throughout your studies. But just being mindful of the fact that these resources are here and available to you is important to know. I like to explain this kind of as a safety net for students where, of course, if you're new to the university, you'll have a lot of questions, and it's nice to know that these are always going to be here for you in the event that you've received the information in the past and forget it, knowing that you can come back to this at your leisure and get refamiliarized with this information is quite valuable. So don't hesitate to go through here. And again, it's not a test, it's not an exam. You don't have to memorize this, but it is going to be there so long as you're a student at Laurentian University. Your application information. So, if you're visiting your MyLaurentian account, the information here might not be new to you. And for my account, because I've already accepted and kind of gone through course registration, none of this here is actually live because I've gone through the application phase. But as an applicant, you will have more detailed information through here via your applicant portal. So going through again, continuing with the tuition and financial aid support. So this is going to give you some pretty good information here about the fees and rules and regulations about tuition and financial support. So it would be one that we would recommend that you go through and check out. It does have some really good questions that are often asked from students. So, for example, it was one mention that I had here earlier with respect to WebAdvisor, where you're looking at your T2202A for tax purposes. That's one thing where you receive through WebAdvisor. So again, it's showing you here a little bit more information, and then we also have a tutorial here video that we've shared with the student population. So being able to find this information on your own, it avoids that email communication where it could be a little bit delayed or maybe a little bit not as clear communicating by email sometimes. So this will give you all the information that you need, and then also support that information with contact information to the appropriate service here. So very detailed stuff. The accessibility section, if you've declared need for accessibility services, you'll have information here. You'll find information about accessibility services if you haven't through other avenues here in your accounts. So be mindful of that. We have the Health and Wellness Center here too. So Health and Wellness Center is still open and active on campus. It's housed in the residence complex and is open Monday through Friday from 9 until 4 p.m. with a doctor and 2 nurses on duty throughout the week. And they're there to support students who live on residence, those faculty and staff, and students who may be local to Sudbury but find themselves on campus quite frequently. So be mindful of that service as a student is available to you. Of course, a little bit easier to receive if you're local to Sudbury or living in residence. But if you do find yourself as one of those groups of students, then you'll have access to this. So this kind of also goes in collaboration with the Equity, Diversity, and Human Rights Office. So looking at different articles and questions that have been published, with the support of both services there, and then have information here about campus security, which if you're not already aware, we have security on campus 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So it is a service there that's available always. And then you'll have campus life. So again, things are different right now, but we do have things that are happening through campus life and residence office. So, if you have questions about residence and how that works, this will have a lot of great information here, a lot of great information about your student services as well. So information, like I said, about the one card, the WebAdvisor stuff. So if you were to go through this, even just an hour a week every now and then for the first few weeks of your studies at Laurentian, you'd find out quite a bit of stuff, and you'd almost be an expert just as much as we are here as faculty and staff. So be mindful. Again, this information is always available to you, and not a bad idea to go through there and brush up on some good information every now and then. The academic piece, so there are academic regulations with university studies, and if you want to get more familiar with what those policies look like, you can visit the academic section in rules and regulations. You will notice that some professors will host some of these policies in their course outline that you'd receive on the first day or two of class. But these ones here will go far more in detail than we get in your course syllabus. And there are quite a bit of rules and regulations and policies in place to support our students, of course. So if you have questions about that, you can check this stuff out. There was here, a little bit more information about your courses and examinations. So this would be one good one too for students who are studying online, just to get a little bit more familiar with how that looks and what that looks like. And actually, great segue, the online learning piece. So if you are studying online as like a strictly online degree student, not just for the sake of the remote delivery offered right now due to COVID, but this will give you a really good idea here about how that looks, what that looks like, and how your exams are scheduled for courses for students who are outside the city of Sudbury, studying in a different province or even in a different country. So of course, you do have information or contact information to their services online at laurentian.ca. But it is, a good idea to get familiar with the stuff, with the information here first. And then if you do have follow-up questions, of course, reach out to our services. We're always happy to support your questions there. So here's basically all the options that you'd have in the left-hand column, going through a very thorough walkthrough of these. The live chat would be a live chat through our colleagues in Laurentian Hub, at the MyLaurentian Hub. The masquerade feature is something that you have as an employee of Laurentian. So if you're a student, you wouldn't have access to that. But just to finish off real quick, if you were to visit the top right corner, and I know Zoom with the recording feature, my camera might be in the way of these 4 icons, but the first one that you'll have is a silhouette of an individual here that'll give you access to your profile and the language. So if you're a Francophone student and you want to flip this portal in French, MyLaurentian, you can simply click that here or access the link ma.laurentian.ca. Your profile here will give you some important information, and it's one that I feel it's very important to go through, especially for students who are either international students or students coming from high school. Often we get the question when parents and guardians want to support their student through university. Once you're at university, the university has very strict guidelines on Privacy Act and holding that personal information between the student and the university. So it has happened in the past where parents will reach out for information about their students, or guardians will reach out for the same. If you're a student at the university and would like to grant third-party access to someone, a parent or guardian, to access information on your behalf, you'd be required to fill out this third-party access section here. And this will basically put a flag on your account and show that we have permission to share specific information or any information about your studies at the university with said person. So be mindful of that. It's a question that like I said, we do get it quite often, and we're really good about letting students and parents and guardians know what the rules and regulations are surrounding that. But if you want to kind of be proactive in that sense, you can go ahead here and give us the green light yourself by highlighting this person. And if there is more than one person that you'd like to give access to, you can just continue clicking this plus bar here and adding more people. The next one that you'll have is a little envelope icon. That's access to your Laurentian email address. I won't click it simply because it'll open up my inbox in another tab. This would be a direct link here for your Laurentian email. It's one that we strongly recommend that you begin checking as soon as you've started your journey as a student at Laurentian, because we'll communicate a majority, if not all of the time, to that address. So though you've applied with a personal email address, once you've moved your status to student, you received your username and created your password, we start communicating all of our information to your Laurentian email address. So what's great about this is that you'll have access to the G Suite, and with Laurentian's permission and license, we have access to the full Gmail G Suite, which gives you access to all of their cloud applications and access to a whole new Google Drive. So very fruitful, very generous as well. So it's good to help manage your studies using everything on the same Gmail platform is quite useful. The notification tab, if you have any notifications, they'll come up here. You'll have a little notification, kind of like a little number 1 at the top, letting you know that there's an update there. And then the last one is just like the icon of a page with a folded right corner. This will be your documents. So any kind of documents that you've shared to support your application. And also if you have any notes with an academic advisor or international advisor, they will be posted here. So the advisor will write a summary once their session is over and basically kind of share this with your account so that you can get an update and a summary of the meetings that you've had with the advisor. So this will kind of go live and stay active in your account as you progress. So I mean, I don't have any myself, but as a student who might have used these services, it's possible that you have access to this and already have running documents here in your MyLaurentian account. So going back to the homepage, this kind of completes this session that we wanted to offer. We hope that you found it very useful. And if you have any further questions about your MyLaurentian account or how to access this, you can communicate with orientation@laurentian.ca. You can also communicate with the Center for Academic Excellence at excellence@laurentian.ca or the MyLaurentian Hub at hub@laurentian.ca. So thank you very much for your time. Merci, chimigwech, and good luck in your studies.